did the Salkantay Trek without a guide, and I'm gonna show you how you can do that as well. Hello, my name is Leah. I love the outdoors and welcome to my channel Misantopia. So last November I did the Salkantay Trek, and if you're kind of like me and don't really want to book a tour guide or like a tour group, you are on a perfect place, because I'm going to show you how you can do the Salkantay Trek by yourself, step by step, what you need to know, which bus to take or which buses you can take, and what to expect on that trip. I realized there's no clear information on the internet how to trek the Salkantay on your own. Only tour guides or like tour groups you can join in, which, don't understand me wrong, please don't, but I don't like people. I don't like being forced with other people on a 5-day hike I need to have a conversation with. It's just hard for me. So I rather meet up people organically on the trail, walk with them a little bit, and then the ways part. And that's way more natural for me and way more better. I did one tour group where we went to Winnetonka. I think it's pronounced like this. It's like those rainbow mountains. And there was a tour group. We could hike on our own, but I just felt the whole time uncomfortable. I felt like I need to talk with people, or I didn't talk at all with people. Especially it came out quite strange on my side. I was the creep when they realized I could speak German and a little bit of French when they were like talking. Yeah, one guy was talking about those huge, of another woman, and I just looked at him like that. He was like, "You speak German?" What do you need to hike the Salkantay Trek on your own? First of all, you need to ask yourself these questions. Am I fit and secure in my ability to do this on my own? Am I even acclimated to the height? How do I get to the start of the hike? How and where do I want to sleep? And last of all, how much luggage can I carry? Do you trust yourself and your abilities in hiking to do this hike on your own? There will be people on the trail. There will be. But you need to be secure in yourself. Are you a little bit of an experienced hiker, or you hike from time to time? It shouldn't be that hard, especially if you acclimatized to the height. When you start a trek, you are either in Mole Plata or Sorapampa, which is between 2,900 and 3,800 meters above sea level, so you need to be acclimated to the height. So it makes sense before you start the hike to just stay some days in Cusco, for example. It is high, it is around 3,000 meters above sea levels. You can just stay there, have a nice time, go out, and then you should be good to go. In Cusco you can buy coca leaves, which helps you preventing altitude sickness, which shows in headache, nausea, loss of appetite. You get like this fatigue feeling even when you're resting. You can have trouble sleeping. I had this in Cusco. When I was sleeping, I just woke up in the night and thought I didn't get any air. Can happen, doesn't need to happen to everyone. Well, and if you don't feel any of those symptoms when you are in Cusco, you are quite ready for the hike. You can either go with the tour group bus. They are quite reliable. You find them on the internet, because they usually want to just hike up to the Humantay Lake, which is a lake near Sorapampa, and then drive back. So you just pay one way. You're like, hey, I'm going there, and then I'm going further to Aguas Caliente. They are reliable. They will pick you up where you need to. Well, they have like these little spots on different hotels and everything. So that was for me the perfect way to do it, especially because I don't like it when I'm quite unsure and doesn't speak the language. So this was perfect for me if you don't speak Spanish or something. Most of the time they are also doing like stops where you can eat and drink something there. So it's quite nice. You get picked up at 3 a.m, get a stop, get something to eat. Or if you want more of a cheaper alternative, there are the colectivos. Those are shared buses. You can just type in the internet Colectivo from Cusco to Sorabampa or Mole Plata, and then you see the scheduling. Those buses are cheap and practical, but they won't start driving until the bus is full. So you never quite know at which time you're gonna start driving. And next you're gonna be deciding where you're gonna sleep. You can either stay in hostels and hotels along the way, or you can take your tent with you. When you sleep in hostels, you can book them in advance, or you can do it like I did. I was just like booking 1 or 2 days in advance, or just showed up there, ask for a room. But keep in mind that maybe all hostel could be full, especially when you're in the high season, when everyone wants to walk there. So those are like your two options. Or you can, with your tent, you need to keep in mind that you're gonna have more stuff with you, and the hike is gonna be quite steep sometimes, and with more luggage you're gonna be exhausted sooner. So you can maybe also extend your days and not finish it in 4 days, but maybe in 5 or 6 days to get you your destination. On the topic of luggage, what do you need to have? When it comes to clothes, working layers, it will keep you warm along the trail and during night, but if it gets hot, and to prevent you from overheating, you can just easily take them off instead of like those big ass fluffy jumpers or pullovers or whatever you call them. It may seem cold on the trail, or especially when you take a break, but while you're walking, your blood is pumping and pumping, so it keeps you warm. That's why I would really recommend you to have light layers as well. Also, at the end of the trail, you're gonna be in warmer regions, so light layers that are long sleeve, because midges are horrible. I will come to that later on, but which are long sleeved will work perfectly, like a sun shirt or like fluffy pants that are just easy to wear. In summary, I recommend for you to take a base layer, mid layer, and an outer shell. Also like a t-shirt, or yeah, if you're a woman, maybe a bra, but who needs bras? But for your legs, I recommend some long underwear, a pair of shorts, and a pair of hiking trousers, as well as some rain gear, because it can rain. It didn't happen on my trail, but it can happen that it's gonna be rainy. And if your shit is gonna be wet, it's just gonna be heavier. You're gonna be moody because everything is wet, your feet is, ugh. Take rain gear with you. Take 1 pair of underwear each day, well, underpants, better said. So the trek is gonna be 5 days, so you're gonna have 5 pairs of underwear, plus 1 in case you shit yourself. My ex-girlfriend told me that. Never happened, but plus 1. And I know, strings are lovely, strings are great, but not for hiking. I know some people think they're like, oh yeah, it's easier and they are lightweight and everything, but it will get really uncomfortable when they like, girls, you know what I'm talking about. Just take those where your butt is full in and your whole hoo-ha is full in, and everything is gonna be alright. Did I get red? My god, I think I did get red. And ladies, if you're gonna bring a bra, make sure it's like a sports bra and not like those typical normal bras with like the padding. I think that's too much of a hassle. So 1 sports bra is enough, and maybe a bikini top and also bikini pants, because on the way there are some water sites you can get in, and there are hot springs you can visit. So just take a bikini with you as well, especially if you don't want to rent one. You can rent one. I didn't do it. I bought one on the way. For footwear, I recommend 2 pairs of shoes. You're gonna take 1 pair of hiking shoes that are heavy and good and sturdy, where you need to go over the mountain ridge and you feel comfortable with it, and 1 pair of easy shoes to slip in. I'm actually a big fan of barefoot shoes, and let me tell you, they were heaven. When my feet were burning and swelling and everything, those shoes, every day. every day. You can also hike in these shoes. I did hike in barefoot shoes, and it is possible, but you can just feel every stone under those. Also, this is a thing I forgot to bring, so I'm gonna tell you to bring it. A sun hat. No, wait, I lost mine. I missed that cap every fucking day. It was pink. Well, a sun hat or like a cap or something, and sunglasses. I forgot the sunglasses. No, I had them as well. So my camera didn't have any battery anymore. I did myself a coffee and now I'm back. Now we get to the packing list where I'm really passionate about. It is hiking poles. Hiking poles are so fucking important. I saw people without hiking poles that had like sore knees and everything. They are lovely. Yes, you may look like an old lady or old man with hiking poles up there, but they are amazing, and I would recommend them to anyone that's even just for a light hike. They're not that heavy. You can just take your hiking poles with you, have them in your backpack, and when you need them, you can use them. It is easier to get up to steep places or go down, and it protects your knees and everything. So get yourself a pair of good hiking poles. You won't regret it. I promise you. When it comes to the toiletries, you don't need much. Get yourself 1 bar of soap or like those wet wipes, but take a little baggie with you so you can take those wet wipes with you. Then yeah, like the common thing, like a mini deodorant that's roll on. It doesn't need to be big. Toothbrush, toothpaste. Really recommend you a moisturizer. A good moisturizer. I use cocoa butter. I love it. Thank you, Vanessa, for recommending that to me. Greatest investment I have ever done. Cocoa butter, I tell ya. Because in the high regions, your skin gets so dry and your lips get really, really, really chapped. So use cocoa butter for anything, or like a good lip moisturizer and sunscreen. I forgot to apply mine and I was so red and so chapped, because when you're walking you forget it, but just keep reapplying it every time you make a short stop, because your skin will thank it to you. Also, one thing you really should bring to you, especially on the last few parts of the hike, is mosquito spray. I didn't have any. Those little shits, they are so aggressive. They're gonna sting you, they're gonna bite you, but you don't realize it. So you only realize it after some days. And some people, like I did, or a friend of mine I met there, can develop allergies. So I had, like, my leg was, yeah, like this. I recommend you to take that with you, and also have in your first aid kit some antihistamines, just regular antihistamines, because you never know. But I'm gonna do a separate video on what's the best to take with you in your first aid kit from a nurse. I'm a nurse. I'm a bad nurse, but I'm a nurse. Antihistamines, mosquito spray, and sunscreen. Those 3 are the most important. If you're gonna stink, you're gonna stink. If you don't brush your teeth, you don't brush them. Bad for your teeth for some days, but the other stuff is more important. Food-wise, you can prepare in 2 different ways. You can either take with you the food you need. When I go on long trips hiking, I always have porridge or oats with me and a little gas cooker. I didn't bring that because I knew I'm gonna go the other way, where I'm gonna stay at hostels. So every hostel, they usually provide really good healthy breakfast which fills you up, which gives you enough energy for the day. On the way you can also buy snacks and fruits and everything. You don't need to bring that much. It's easier to carry the important stuff. Yeah, that's it with the food, nothing more. When you go camping, you probably, yeah, maybe take yourself like one of the instant coffees and oatmeal. That's it. That gives you enough energy. I always have oatmeal and I feel amazing hiking with that. Please keep in mind your backpack will stay on you for the majority of time. So if you go with a tent, make sure it's around 12 to 15 kilo, even lighter, but not over 15 kilos. And if you're gonna stay in hostels, your backpack shouldn't be heavier than 8 kilos. I always stay a little bit on the heavier side because I usually pack a good camera, a drone, a GoPro, and some power banks with me. So I always have this struggle when my backpack is on the heavier side, but I'm quite used to it by now. Now that we covered the necessities, the packing list and everything, we can go to the actual hike. You're gonna start in Mole Plata or Sorabampa, depending on which bus you took. And after that, you're just gonna follow this one route. Everything is described quite easily. You follow the route that's going up, you follow the masses, and then you in Sorabampa, a little bit up, you get there to a little hostel where you can also go left on the fork and go up to the Salkantay Lake. It is a lovely hike. The hike is not that long. It's around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. You can do that easily, especially when you're staying in the hostel. And then in the next morning, there's gonna be food served at 6 o'clock in the morning where you can participate and then just take off. Even if you gonna start at 6 o'clock, I did start pretty early. There are people on the trail, there are on the road, and you just follow the way. You're gonna feel it in your lungs. And there are also people that are renting horses to like hike up there. I wouldn't recommend that because those horses are so small. Or are they like mules? I don't know, but they're so small and they look so delicate. And they need to hike that shit up there. I feel so bad for them. And right before the pass where you see Salkantay, there are also gonna be two ways. One is gonna go around and is a bit longer. And the other one is short but steep. I didn't saw the fork where the way parts, so I just got with the steep one. The Salkantay Pass, the highest you get up is 4,600 meters. This is around 15,000 feet. You're gonna be there on the pass, lots of people make a break there. You just follow the people, you will meet a lot of people. So from the Salkantay Pass, the highest pass, you just get down there where the vegetation also changes. So from this karg and cold mountainy place, you get to a more farming landscape. It is also steep and high, but it's more farmy, green. The vegetation comes out there, and there's also riversides. I got down to Colapampa and there are lots and lots of different hostels, so you really can pick and choose which hostel suits you best. I actually found in Colapampa, I ripped them off because I've got a hostel with a breakfast, an own room and a lovely room with a fucking amazing shower with a big ass window and nature out there. This was the greatest shower I've ever had. Like, I knew people could walk around there, but I didn't care. It was so beautiful. And then in the morning you get the breakfast and then you just follow the road. Still follow the road down there, follow the riverside. Also you can go into the river there, take a quick bath. This was the day when I actually did, I think, around 30 kilometers. So I went to Santa Teresa. There was also this biggest, amazing hotel with the little Zika insects. I wasn't quite sure what that was because I never heard it before. It sounded like a and I thought it was maybe some electricity or something, but it never occurred to my head that it could be those little Zika insects that are just ringing and it kind of feels like screaming, but it's also so amazing that you don't see them, but there are so many that are just like doing this little there in Santa Teresa. You can also go to the hot springs and I would really recommend it for you. Go to the hot spring, take a day off, just like soak it in there. It was amazing. I unfortunately didn't do any videos there because yeah, people are there. I don't want to film in a hot spring. I think that's quite creepy. Yeah, then you get to more of a jungly part, especially when you follow the train tracks. I always was kind of scared about the train tracks, but that's just because I have some irrational fears, like getting hit by a train, which is not irrational, and other people, which is also not irrational. Just follow the train tracks and eventually you're gonna be at Aguascaliente. If you did a more spontaneous hike and didn't buy any tickets for Machu Picchu, you can go to Aguascaliente. I would recommend you to stay there 2 days, then go to the tourist information center. There they will give you a little ticket with a number and a time when you should be there. So mine was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I just showed up there, and then they will read the numbers on your ticket, and that's when you can go in and just order a ticket for Machu Picchu. It is so easy, and I was so stressed about it because it sounded really complicated. The ticket number, they said it in Spanish. I overheard it. I didn't hear the number, and then the people next to me were like, "Oh, that's your number. Go in, go in, go in." That was the only kind of stressful thing. Or else you just stand there and you just wait. I did the one where I could walk through the ruins just because why not? It was lovely. But you don't get the big sight from up there, like this typical, this is Machu Picchu, I'm here, look at me photo. You don't get that with the ticket number 3, I think it was. I had more of a feeling that I was quite alone on the trail. Actually, the only thing I would have gotten a tour guide there was in Machu Picchu itself. I think there's definitely some great history behind it. When you just follow a tour guide, he can tell you, yeah, what was this? What was it used to? Why did they put Machu Picchu up there this high? I think this would have been really interesting, and that's the thing I regret a little bit. The hike itself, without a guide, definitely every day again. I actually think this is all I know and all I have to tell about Machu Picchu and the Salkantay Trek. Now you can go hike it too. Do it, but be safe. And thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in any of the stuff I do, I love being outdoors, I love kayaking, lost places, hiking, etc. I'm still building my channel, but if you're interested, follow me on my channel. I also have Instagram and TikTok. Instagram is more like I do pictures and stories of where I am right now. And TikTok is just a shit show. I do everything on there. Follow me on my Instagram.